what makes United different from other brokerages in this market?
You get broker support, you get training, you get, technology, and you get to keep most of your money.
Yeah.
It just makes it a lot easier to recruit other agents on.
So what has been your proudest moment as a leader?
We were just always grounded, and we didn't make ourselves anxious by thinking too much about the future and its uncertainty. And we certainly didn't think about the past of our regrets about spending the money and, oh my God, what did we do? Can we get a refund?
It's like, hey, if you're the head honcho in town and you think, everybody tells you how great you are and you're not looking around the corner of what's happening in real estate, things always are changing. And if you don't change with the times, you go from 28 market share to 7%.
If I need the ultimate hype man, a little bit of a pit bull, I'm going to Sunny.
Yeah.
If I need someone to calm me down because I'm already in that zone, I go to Ray. And then if I need legal advice, I go to Nancy. Welcome to the Homeowner Hookup.
Where we break down everything you need to know about real estate.
Straightforward, practical, and always up to date.
We're your hosts, Megan Huey.
And Sydney Ragusa.
Let's dive in. Hey, Sid.
Hi, Meg.
How's it going?
Oh, it's going great. So we have some very special guests here today.
The VIPs.
The VIPs. So today we have our brokers, Sunny Downey and Ray Rivera with us.
Yeah.
Hi, guys.
Hey, ladies.
Hey.
Thank you for
We're
having
excited.
us.
Yeah.
Sunny and I were like seeing how long it would take for you guys to invite us on the podcast.
Stop. We invited you back in December
I'm
when we were in
just kidding.
episode
Yeah, we did.
4, so you need to calm down.
And then we kept messing it up with all of our sick kids and humans.
Yeah,
So,
just,
yeah.
just being humans overall just really kind of sucks sometimes.
in the wintertime. It's been kicking our butts. All right, so we're going to talk today about how you guys got started in real estate. We're going to talk about the market shifts, the lessons you guys have learned in real estate and what you can pass on to us. And then also just about United Real Estate Gallery and how amazing you guys are.
Yeah, we're excited to be able to share this with you. And
Yeah.
Ray, you want to get started?
Yeah, Sunny and I, when you guys mentioned you guys wanted to have us on the podcast, we were like, great. I mean, we've done this a little bit, been doing it for such a long time now. It's one of the things that's been, I always pictured myself younger, and then now people look at us like, oh, they look at us like as dads. Like, oh, one of our younger agents was, oh yeah, you give like good dad advice. And I was like, oh my God.
Well, there was a time when we were like in our
The young
20s and
ones.
30s when we got into the business.
They would call us like
Yeah.
the boys when we bought an exit franchise. We were always looked at the young guys.
Yeah.
And now, doing it for so long, now they're looking at us like we're the old guys, looking at, like some of the younger brokers will call us
Yeah.
and ask us advice or what do you think about that? And it's just crazy how quickly you go from being the young guy to the old guy in town.
It's not old.
It's not old.
experience. It's
Thank you.
wisdom.
Yeah.
It's wisdom.
It's seasoned.
So we'll start with you, Ray. What got you into real estate?
Originally, I come from like a business finance background, and I moved to Jacksonville in 2004 or 5, and I had to make a decision. Was I going to do finance, like a stockbroker, financial advisor, or get into something brand new? So I had my first child, and we had family here in Jacksonville, and we wanted to be closer to family. And my wife, the job that she had, her company had an office here in Jacksonville, so she went right in with them. And then I was like, okay, do I make a career change? What do I do? And I got into the mortgage business first. So I thought that was a good transition, finance, mortgages. And then I was like, why don't I get my real estate license? So I got my real estate license, hung it with Keller Williams in town, and had my mortgage license. And I met Sunny at Keller Williams.
Okay, so that's where you guys met.
Yeah.
That's how we originally started, yep.
And what got you into the business?
For me, because I was working in the hospitality industry here locally. For me, it was all over a 25-cent raise. We had 2 children. We had just had our second kid, and I needed a raise because I felt like 25 cents was going to help us raise the second kid. And they told me no, so I was like, I'm going to go and get my real estate license. So, coming into it wasn't just about money more so than it was about freedom because my wife, she was a nurse. So she had I like to say the real job, had the benefits where both of us couldn't be dreamers. And that was kind of why we, said, let's give it a shot and put me into real estate because I had the ability to be able to be the dreamer in the relationship. And that was what got us into it to begin with.
Love that. Love
That's
that.
awesome. Yeah. So what did your early years in the business look like?
Early years in the business.
In as agents?
As
Or-
agents, yeah, like your very early years in the business.
So Sonny got into real estate a little bit before I did. I mean, he's the one that convinced me to focus more on real estate than mortgages. Consummate salesman, right? It's like, oh, you need to do real estate, mortgages, and so I got in 2005 into real estate, and that was, I always use the analogy of like if you get on a roller coaster and before you get to the top, you hear the click, 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 like almost the last 2 clicks before the market was straight downhill.
Oh my gosh.
So 2005 was almost near the top. 2007, when we started the brokerage, was at the exact top of the market. But when we got into real estate was humming. It was cruising. You know, there was so many agents getting into it. That was when people were lining up buying spec homes. It was easy. It was easy when we got started. Then we bought the franchise of Exit, and then the market.
Ray, wouldn't you say it was similar to 2020 and 2021?
Similar. I think it was harder than 2021 because we were in a major recession after the whole mortgage meltdown.
Yeah.
But very similar in the market.
Anybody that came in and got their license during that time came in on a magical red carpet.
Yes.
They were making money.
They were making
Everything
money.
you touched turned into sold, and we had an opportunity to enjoy that ride for about a year, 2 years before, like he said, we got up to that top of that roller coaster and it decided it was going to do its dip. Which I think the dip was good for us because it humbled us.
And you had to learn how to make money in a down market, and it wasn't a year or two. It was, the market was bad for many years, and a lot of the brokers that got in a few years before we did really suffered because they were used to, oh, this market's great, it's never going to end. We're going to build these big offices, we're going to buy this, we're going to do that. And when the market crashed, they didn't have the revenue coming in, so it really hurt their business. For us, we got in right when it was at the top, so we had to learn our business in a down market, and that really helped us, sustain in a down market, and then really, when the market took off, to be in the right place to really grow the business.
I feel like that also tempers your expectations and your spending as a business owner because it's kind of like, oh, no, we started right here and it can always go back right there.
Yeah.
So,
No, it really did, because I remember right when COVID happened, the first week that COVID happened, we were right back into the planning room, and we were slashing expenses, and because we didn't know what was upon us. Little did we know that we were going to be heading into a record-breaking year, which is what COVID ended up being, because Florida stayed open. But it was very interesting times to learn. I think the biggest lesson that we learned was not to stay stagnant, because we saw brokers that stayed stagnant and they kept their same business model. They stayed in their same office locations, and they didn't change. And the market kind of changed for them, and it kind of forced them out of the market, which for us, like I said, we were able to adapt. We did some mergers and acquisitions, and we adapted, and we didn't just survive those days. We actually thrived from 2009 to 2012.
Yeah, I mean, we got into the distress market. There's always business somewhere, right? People always need to buy and sell, no matter how bad the real estate market is. There's always people moving. So we had to figure out, what are we going to do? We got into the internet leads. We were early adopters on Zillow. We were Boomtown's first customer in the country. So we got into the internet and we got into the distress market. We were like, hey, there's going to be a lot of foreclosures and short sales. Sonny got all the certifications in being a short sale expert. It was like, we're going to teach our agents how to sell short sales. We got some bank accounts, some REO accounts. So when the market was doing poorly, we were able to feed our agents, or at least show them how to make money in a down market. And like Sonny said, when COVID happened, we were like, all right, we've done this before. Let's figure out where we're going to be and what we need to do and what expenses we can cut. But it was short-lived, and it really helped us propel us out of that market. And it also helped us make the move from our Exit franchise to United. I know we'll probably talk about that in a minute, but looking, going through some of those changes, you got to look at the market and be to yourself like, okay, where are we? Because it's easy to stay stagnant, like Sonny said, like, oh, it'll get better. Oh, agents still love us. They'll continue to work with us. But then you got to look at the numbers and be honest with yourself and say, okay, are we going to continue doing the same thing and get the same results? Or do we look at what changes we can make? And that really helped us when we made that move from Exit to United, and why we chose United.
yeah, I thought it was great when you guys did that. I mean, I had just started with you guys with Exit, And I think I had been thinking about getting into real estate for a while. And Jocelyn, she was just there kind of like, whenever you're ready, I'll help. And so I already knew I was going to exit. I know everyone says interview 3 places. I did not. I only went to you guys. And I was like, yeah, okay, let's go. But then shortly after, you guys switched over to United. And I thought you just did that very beautifully and seamlessly. And I feel like most people were on board with it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we had most people. We had very small breakage. And those breakage that we did have, it was because people were wanting to go and do their own thing and start their own brokerages. It wasn't because they were leaving for a competitor, which you have to respect that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And we blessed them and we helped them get to where they, help them build what they wanted to build, because if that's their dream, then that's their dream. And you can't hold that against somebody.
Yeah. I mean, I started with you guys back in 2017. Yeah, it was 2017.
Sheesh, you were 17 years old?
Yeah, basically. No, I remember when I first started with you guys, I had done a rental. I had placed someone in like a short-term rental for like 6 months while their house was being built. And I remember
this.
Yeah, there was this, I don't know how else to put it. She's a crazy person, this broker, who they were there like 6 months or less. And she said that they completely destroyed her HVAC unit and like they never changed the filter. And that made it so that like the HVAC went out. And I was like, it was 3 people and no animals. And I was like, even if they didn't change their HVAC filter for 6 months, which I know they did, like it wouldn't have killed your AC unit.
No.
And so then she like called, because I had literally I don't even know if I was here a month.
Yeah, you were there for a couple of weeks, but I kind of knew in talking with the broker when I spoke with her that she was kind of on the spectrum. and
I was
she
like,
wasn't all there. So I felt really sorry for you, because I was like, golly, I don't know like how we're going to deal with this crazy one, but we got to deal with her.
And I was pregnant with Reagan, like with my first son. And I was like, the hormones, I was like crying. I'm like, I can't deal with this. And then Sonny stepped in. He was like, she won't call you again. I got you. And I was like, oh, okay. I found my home.
Yeah. Ray's done that also for me in situations where he's like, hold, please.
Yeah.
They will not contact you again. And you're like, oh. All right. See, that's why you guys are the dads.
Yeah, that's what happens.
You guys take care of us.
I say dumb dad jokes now.
Here I am 9 years later. And like, I mean, even then, like, I know that I've gone and talked to other brokerages, not for the fact that I would ever actually leave, but just for the fact to actually give you guys information.
But we like that as well. I mean, the thing that Sonny said a minute ago, and it's true, and it wasn't always like that in the beginning, because when you're trying to grow a brokerage is smaller. And like each agent in there, like we always say, oh, they feel like this part of the family, but they really, when you're a small brokerage, it really feels like you. But as you start growing, like you learn through that. And we can't stifle somebody. Like Sonny said, when we did the move to United, their dream was to have the largest African-American real estate brokerage in Jacksonville. Mm-hmm. So I had to look at somebody in their face and say, like, oh, that's a dumb idea. Why do you want to do that? Why don't you want to stay with us? That's his dream. So if we could be part of that, like helping him do that, that is fulfillment for us, because it's like, hey, this person, we've helped him get where he feels like he can own his own brokerage. Yeah. There's 11,000 agents. We have 450 of them. There's most of the competition's not within our walls. There's still a lot of agents out there. So if that's what he wants to do, it makes us feel great when someone does that.
I've had one God told them while they were sleeping to open a brokerage, and that's a hard one. There's no rebuttal for that.
Yeah.
God told you. I mean, you should probably do that.
Yeah.
There really is no rebuttal for that.
No, I was like looking through my book. I'm like, yep, I'm out.
Well, so like, I know that you said you got licensed in 2005. And then you started your brokerage in 2007. Yeah. So, I mean, you were like freshly able to become a broker.
At the time, it was 1 year. Mm-hmm. Now it's 2 years. Mm-hmm. It should be a lot more. So the thing with the franchise, Exit makes you work under a brokerage too before you open your brokerage. So I had a lot of business background. And so just like agents try to sell to consumers and customers, franchises try to sell to agents to be brokers. Hey, we get open XYZ brokerage, this brokerage. So they came to us and I go, hey, Sonny, what do you think about opening owning our own brokerage. And we were young. I was in my 30s. Sonny was in his like your upper 20s, right?
26, 28.
28. I'm like, hey, Sonny, what do you think about doing this? I have business background. You got all the sales background. This is perfect. And Sonny's like, yeah, let's do it. And so we wound up doing it. And it was like, holy cow.
Because, of course, 2007 hit and the market just went, just stopped.
Yeah.
And, of course, I'm looking at him like, what the hell did we just do?
And as a broker, you have to sell. In the beginning, when you have a small brokerage, the broker's selling. You have
Yeah,
to.
you're still working.
You're still working.
Yeah.
You got to pay the bills. And so we were still selling, recruiting people in. But I will tell you, the best decision we made opening the brokerage. You guys know what it is? Sonny knows what it is. Hiring Nancy Soriano.
Oh, yeah.
Of course.
Yeah, 110%.
That was our first employee we hired.
Really?
And 20 years later, she's still here.
See, when you guys call me, I know like 9 times out of 10, you're calling to chit chat. We're like, oh yeah, we're just catching up. You might have a question or two, but it's like catch up. But when Nancy calls me, I'm like, fuck, I am in trouble. Like something is going on, and I'm usually not in trouble, but like I'm like,
it's more serious.
It's more serious. I'm like, oh, Nancy's calling
She's
me.
amazing.
Like,
She
oh,
really
she's
is.
incredible.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yesterday, I get a text. She's just like, what are these charges? They were at the stadium, which I'm like, they're not mine. I don't got season tickets. I was like, it's
So I'm like,
totally
shoot, they're mine?
Yeah.
But then I'm like, let me look. Wait a second. This is not even on a Sunday.
And then I
thought
realized-
maybe I had a few cocktails. I'm like, hey, drinks on me.
And then I realized, it was me. I was at the Real Producer event, and I bought some cocktails for agents.
Oh, my
I was like,
gosh.
okay, it was me. Never mind.
oopsies.
Guilty. Yeah.
Yes, mom. Yes, mom.
Exactly.
So how were you able to, figure out when you were able to make that transition from agent to broker? Was it like because you were on that high of the market, or?
I tell, because like I was saying earlier, brokers will come to us. I just had a meeting before this about a broker asking questions about buying another brokerage or should they go on their own. So people use, and it's nice that people, because Sonny and I are open. I mean, it's not rocket. It's not like we have some secrets like, hey, we can't share them. So people come to us. So today is way different, right, Sonny, than it was back when we did it. And I tell our agents that want to do it, and I tell people, I would not today open a brokerage in the condition of the real estate market as a whole, like just the industry as a whole. It's just the margins have shrunk so much.
Margins have shrunk. I feel like the consumer's been retrained.
Totally.
They're geared to go towards portals.
Yep.
And there's a whole portal war going on between Zillow and Homes.com
AI.
and Realtor.com. And I can tell you 20 years ago, you didn't have Zillow. So it was a very, very different market that you were competing in where, like he says, margins just keep getting compressed. They're
When we
smaller and
pay our
smaller.
agents more and more money, and the reason we went to Unite, one of the main reasons we went to United is we could pay our agents more money and they don't lose any of the services and the tools and training that we were able to offer with Exit because it's a national brand, 6th largest real estate company in the country that people maybe don't know because they buy companies from around the country. And in some of these markets, they let them keep their name. They don't change it to United. We took the United name, but in a lot of in Atlanta, they kept VPR, 5,000 agents. People don't even know they're a United brand. So they let them keep their, but being part of a large organization, we have all the tools, training, support, technology. So the agents kind of get the best of both worlds where if I'm an agent right now and saying, hey, I want to open my own brokerage, like, what's differentiating you from the next broker? When we did it, people weren't into the internet. And Sonny and I were like, oh, the internet. We got into Boomtown when Boomtown was brand new.
Yeah.
And internet leads. And so there was ways for you to differentiate in the marketplace where now with AI, everybody, can offer almost the same things. So I would run a team under a brokerage and you can make more money than a lot. Unless you're going to grow, what Sonny says, unless you're going to grow a really wide brokerage,
Yeah.
it's better to run
Well,
a team.
I think with the team, you're able to control your expenses more and you're able to minimize your expenses and you have bigger profit margins. Where when you're running a brokerage, all the resources you have to put out for the sales force, your expenses you've got a big expense book that you've got to run. And you need lots of profit to be able to pay for that.
Unless you're like, I have friends that have brokerages here, but they're still selling.
Yeah.
I mean, their salary is their income they're making selling, not running. We wanted to kind of step away. We knew 'cause I was a teacher too at one time. I love helping agents making people successful. And people don't believe when I say this. Sonny and I could have, if we went and just sold real estate as a team, we would make more money annually than we do right now as a broker. Don't you agree?
Yeah, I would agree. I mean, Ray and I mean, quite frankly, we did both jobs until we probably were about 30 or 40 agents. And when I say both jobs, we were being full-time realtors and full-time brokers. But it was probably right when we got around 40 where he could first start to step out and he didn't have to sell. I was still selling because I was still one of our top salespeople at that time. And he was able to step back, and that was when we were really able to start focusing on the brokerage itself and really focus on growth.
Right. And then, but going back to that, so then the question that agents will ask me is, well, why would you not go back and just being a real estate agent? The other question you need to ask yourself for people that want to open a brokerage, whether the reason you're doing it is for us, we want to have a saleable asset. So we grew it. So if you want to grow a brokerage, the income each year, I might make more money as an agent. But if you can grow a saleable asset, then you have something you can sell down the road where it's a little harder as an agent to sell your book of business. You can, but it's a little different than, so that's if an agent says, hey, I want to grow something really big and sell it, then okay. But if you're just looking for income, you can make way more money running a team, like Sonny was saying, under a brokerage, because a lot of those expenses you don't have to pay. And a lot of the brokers, like our brokerage agent, keeps most of their money. And in the end, it's better
It's more money to build your personal brand.
Yeah.
I mean, if you think of how real estate was maybe 30, 40, 50 years ago, it was very broker-centric. It was bid box brokers, and people hired you because you worked for this brand.
Yeah.
Today, a lot of your clients don't even know where you work.
No, they don't. And yes,
they just know you as an individual. And I think that's a testament to your personal brand that you've built.
Right, right. And I think also back to what you're saying about like the brokerage versus the team, I think it just depends on what your long-term goals are. So if you want to sell an asset like you guys, yes, that's a long-term hold. Whereas the team building, it's more of a instant gratification or instant paycheck.
Yeah, and you could make, like, there's some Zillow teams that, because we're a big Zillow brokerage, where I see some of these team leaders and they run a team under another brokerage and they're killing it. I mean, they're making a lot of money. Like, and that's why I tell people, if I had to do it again, starting over today, I would run a team.
We run a team out of a different brokerage in Fort Lauderdale.
Yeah.
We don't actually have a United Real Estate Gallery in Fort Lauderdale, but we partner with one of our affiliate companies, sister companies, Charles Ruttenberg Realty, and we've got a team of 18 agents down there that we supervise, and we run a flex team there, and we're looking to expand into other markets as well.
Wow, that's awesome. I had no idea.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yes, that's one
Very
of the
cool.
benefits of being part of a big brokerage. They have a brokerage in Naples, they have a brokerage in Orlando, United does. So for us, with doing these internet teams, we can run them in, different brokerages. And that's what a team, like you guys are a team. Those are things like what I was telling agents about being part of a team. You could run a brokerage almost like a broker under a brokerage.
Yeah.
With a team concept. And like Sonny said, it's all about branding. You build your brand. Now you don't need to be, and I started here in 2005. Everybody knew who was the number one brokerage in Jacksonville. That everybody knew. 2005.
I'm thinking like
Watson, right?
Yeah, I was going to say
Watson is the
it's either
hometown
Watson or
team.
KW.
Been around 50 years. Watson's number one.
Yeah.
When I started in 2005, they had 28% market share. That means one out of every 4 houses was listed by Watson.
Wow.
Or
What about
sold by a
now?
Watson agent. Now they're down to about 7%. And it goes to what Sonny said earlier. If you keep doing the same thing, thinking it's going to change, it happens in all industries. It's nothing against Watson. It's like, hey, if you're the head honcho in town and you think, everybody tells you how great you are and you're not looking around the corner of what's happening in real estate, things always are changing. And if you don't change with the times, you go from 28 market share to 7%.
Yeah, absolutely.
And you got to realize that company was built back when not everybody had a copy machine. So you had to actually go into the office and have copy machines. But you look at today's agent, they're printing things out their trunk.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
If they're even printing anymore.
Exactly.
I feel like the majority of what we do is all online now, and I would not have it any other way.
Yeah, it definitely makes it easier for all of us. Okay, so let's move into market shifts. I know we've discussed a little bit about that. I know you've talked about when you first got into it, it was a down market. What would you say kind of the major shifts that you've lived through and what has been the hardest lesson? I know it's kind of a compounded one.
I think the recession was probably the hardest lesson that we learned there was patience. Just because, you figure the recession happened in 2006, 7, one would argue. But we literally were in a recession as a state from 2006, 7, 8. It wasn't until like October 2008 that they actually announced that there was a recession. And that's when they started to actually come up with government programs. So for Florida had lived through the recession for almost 5 or 6 years. And that's where I say, it taught us how to be patient. It taught us, especially like during times of high inventory, that people are always going to move. And we just need to find what's selling.
What's working at
Yeah.
that time.
And that was when we got into distressed properties. We had foreclosure accounts. We were working short sales. And it was moving for us. And it was good.
Yeah. And then we were able to, with the exit system, agents that brought other agents on would share in the revenue of that agent they brought on. So it was a great concept at that time for us too, because we were able to recruit. So when everybody was losing agent count, people getting out of the business, people in our company were bringing other agents on. And if they didn't close the deals and if somebody else did, at least they made a little bit. So it really kind of helped. It was great timing. That concept was great. Just fast forward to when we sold our company to United in 2022, we were kind of at a crossroads too, because real estate's changing. That exit concept wasn't selling anymore. There was EXP, there's Real now, there's LPT, there's the downlines, even though exit wasn't a downline system. There's a lot of competition, and same thing. Exit kept doing the same thing, right? Didn't change what they were doing, weren't changing with the real estate environment. And they kept losing agents. They lost brokers like Sonny and I. So Sonny and I looked at like, hey, where do we see the future going? Compression of margins, meaning agents wanting more of their money because the consumer wants to pay less. You had the lawsuit just a couple of years ago. Like all of those things that are happening, where we are with United, we're super flexible because the agents control most of their commission.
Yeah.
So as a broker, super negotiable commission, perfect for us. That's right up our alley because you guys.
It doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter as much.
Yeah.
It matters, but it's like we're on it with you guys. Hey, how much do you guys want to charge? We're going to coach you like you're worth your value. You got to show your value. But as compressions of margins decrease, it affects us as a company less than other brokerages.
Definitely. So that's also something about United that I like. I have spoken to so many different friends at different brokerages, and when we talk about pay, no one compares.
No.
Not one person I've found in town really compares.
Yeah, the only thing that like they really don't offer much more than what United offers.
They don't offer any more.
No, and then like when you look at the pay scale, it's a no-brainer. There's really no point.
We're not the cheapest. It's not like you could find brokerages that pay their agents more, but like you said, when you compare what you get,
right?
And Sonny, we were like, we don't want to be, not to disparage other companies, like the dollar store of retail.
Yeah.
And there's a place for that.
Right.
We don't want to be the lowest, price real estate company out there because there's always going to be somebody that's going to do it less and offer less.
Right.
We are able to pay higher commission splits and then still offer the stuff where
Full service vibes.
Full service vibes, yes.
Yeah.
Where you can call, like we brought people over from one of those downline companies just recently, and the main reason they switched over was they were like, I can't get a hold of a broker when I have an issue or if I have a question. Like it's going to take hours or days for them to call me back.
That's never happened
And
here.
for us, that's one of the things that we pride ourselves in. Like, hey, we're not going to take a call. We're on the podcast. Someone will leave us a message, but we have 3 other people that they could reach to in management to help them with their questions.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Very hands-on leadership here with us.
Yeah.
And, I think you see some of these companies that are, quite frankly, built on sand. Some of these cloud companies, I like to call them.
Yeah.
Where you've got 1 or 2 brokers for a whole state of agents. Hearing stories where their version of broker support is telling the agent to call the Florida Legal Hotline.
Oh my gosh.
And
I can't imagine,
not
especially
that
as a
shouldn't
new
be
agent.
a resource, but you should have some expectations to be able to get some answers from your broker.
Right. I agree. So you guys, when you went into business together, what do you each bring to the table that balances each other out? I think I already know this answer.
Yeah, I feel like you kind
But-
of like answered it a little bit, but like
I-
knowing
well,
you
we all-
personally.
We all know this answer because when you first bring in for training, at least back when I did it, you do the disc profile and you kind of everybody
Yep.
talks about which personality is which for you two and for Nancy and how it kind of all works together at United.
Ray's got the business background. I had the sales background, and it kind of was just it worked. We were able to, I think, find something that we're very passionate about, and we stay out of each other's lanes. We don't, if there's something like when they start getting deep into numbers, not that I won't sit there and get into the numbers with them, but they'll sit there and annihilate the numbers sometimes between him and Nancy.
Yeah, he knows the numbers. He always says, "Oh, the number." He's good with numbers. He just doesn't like the number. Like he
Not
doesn't
something
love.
you're passionate
Yeah, it's not he's
about, per
passionate
se.
about.
I
But
like
when
to
you
spend the money.
Yes, exactly.
And they like to talk about
Sonny.
the expenses. And I'm kind
he
of like,
knows numbers.
Megan will be like, all right, so we can do this. And I'm like, well. Like,
well, usually when they want to talk
maybe.
about money, I know it's me. It's
Yeah.
like I'm going to be interrogated about what's going on. What was this $2.55 charge?
I don't go that far. Oh, that's really funny. Yeah,
But
Megan.
your question is like we learned how to stay out of each other's lanes. You learn that like as you grow in a business and you grow as a partnerships are very difficult.
Yeah.
And so Nancy, myself, and Sonny, and then we had an old business partner, Stan, all different personality types. The only reason it was able to work.
Yeah.
You can't have two people that have the same personality type. It will not work. And when you guys come to us and say, hey, we want to do a team, and you come with me, Nancy, or Sonny, we like, okay, what kind of team do you want to set up? How's it going to be? Who's the leader? Oh, there's both of you going to be the leader? So we've learned through the experience of what works and what doesn't work. And one of the main reasons it's worked for us is we're totally different. But we got broker coaching. When people talk about, hey, should I hire a coach? We did it. And one of the things in our first meetings was you guys need to have what lane you're going to be in. And you're going to need to stay in your lane. I mean, each of you could help each other, but that's your lane. You got to respect them. That's their lane. And you have to make sure that they're managing their lane because it's a lot. We have everybody's like your leader. You're like, oh my God, I need to get in that lane and drive his car. He's going to drive it off the road. But sometimes that's how you learn. Like, hey, that's his lane. We're all going to learn, how to do it better.
There was a point in our lives when there was 4 partners.
Right.
And we were all 4 equal partners. And the challenge in your 4 equal partners is that it's hard to make decisions.
Mm-hmm.
And because none of us made each other responsible, we would make decisions together. It was hard to hold somebody responsible when something went wrong.
Yeah.
So it was our business
Exactly.
coach, Bob McKinnon, that finally is like, you guys are like this ship in the harbor and there's 4 captains and you're just like going in a circle right now because people they don't know their roles. And it wasn't until we knew our roles and we stayed and stuck to our roles and we held each other accountable for those roles that we really were able to start seeing the growth.
Absolutely. I could see that. I feel like it's like you need somebody in some role here and there. Like 4 people sounds like 4 kids trying to sell their parents' house.
Right.
Yeah.
It's just going to take forever to make any decision. And yeah.
We're like, we
moving
broke it
around.
up. Like, okay, you're going to handle what the yard looks like. And then,
Yeah.
okay, you're going to handle the inside. And then you're going to handle. So exactly, that's how he basically was telling us, you got to do this. This is you all report to each other, but that's your thing.
Yeah.
And then you guys as agents know who to go to. You say personalities, like you'll come to me with something, maybe go to Sonny and agents know after a little bit
Yeah.
to know like, okay, I go to Nancy for this question.
Like, you want to set the bridge on fire? Call me.
Yeah, literally. I'm like, all right, if I need the ultimate hype man, a little bit of a pit bull, I'm going to Sonny.
Yeah.
If I need someone to calm me down because I'm already in that zone, I go to Ray. And then if I need legal advice, I go to Nancy. I'm like, hey, I messed up, and Nancy's like, oh God, just send it to me.
I feel very similar to Nancy in the sense of if someone comes to me with things, she's like, did you do X, Y, and Z first before coming to me? And it's
Yeah.
like, yes, ma'am, I did.
I did
She
actually.
sets those expectations and boundaries very firm.
Yeah. So we've talked about United. What makes United different from other brokerages in this market?
One of the things that we don't do a good job of is toot our own horn enough. And Sunny was always be like, hey, we need to do more stuff out there so that people know. Because I'll interview somebody and they're like, oh, I didn't know you guys have that at United, or I didn't know you guys' pay structure was that. So one of the things we need to do a better job of is tooting our own horn a little bit, because we really do feel and recruiting agents today is so much easier, because what we offer, and you guys said it earlier, is like when you talk to your friends that are other brokerages, and I know you've sent me a few people, and you try to tell them like, hey, this is what we offer, but if they don't see it, it's like, okay, we're still around when you realize what you're getting here is going to be hard to beat somewhere else, where you get broker support, you get training, you get, technology, and you get to keep most of your money.
Yeah.
It just makes it a lot easier to recruit other agents on.
I mean, over the last year, everybody that I've sent to you has come on to United, because I think they all see the difference in this brokerage versus everywhere else. You still get a small feeling brokerage, even though we're in a very large reach. Like, we have a pretty large reach as far as our brokerage goes.
Well,
Right.
still to this day, me and Ray still do Achievement Academy, our new agent hire, because if that's our chance to break bread with agents. And if we don't break bread with them early on, it's easy for them to get lost into the system. We want to be able to know the agents, their names. We want to know what their dreams are, what their desires are, so that we can be able to coach them up the correctly.
What is it you always say? You are there to, like, you use a line to help them reach their dreams. I forgot what you say, but it's true. It's like our job as a broker is not get them to just do more deals, but to help them achieve whatever their dreams are.
If their dreams look different, then that's okay. It's just like whatever it is that you want to do. And
Exactly.
your goals, we are an extension to help you get there.
Exactly. And that's the fulfillment. Because it's not to get like too philosophical, but in life, as you get to a point, especially as you get older, you realize money is important because you need to do that. You want to get things, but total fulfillment is different.
Yeah.
And being financially successful is not being fulfilled.
I would agree with that wholeheartedly.
Yeah.
And as I get
Absolutely.
older too, I realize that about myself, that having a more of a balance in life and having that balance with family and work life, and honestly, it's kind of all intertwined no matter what.
I think it comes with age.
Yeah, it does. It's just like, wow, okay, so I've made a very decent amount of money in real estate, and then it's like, but other things suffered that I'm just not willing to do anymore.
Yeah.
So
I
it's
missed
figuring-
every weekend with my kids, and now I get to go to football games on the weekend and baseball games, and I get to be involved more in my kids' lives.
That's also why we teamed up, because we both were needing that kind of support system to be like, okay, can you make this on these weekends? Because I can't do that. And
Well,
balance
buyers
out
and
each other.
sellers, they want you nights and weekends.
Yeah.
And your family wants you nights and weekends.
Right.
Yeah.
And, there's only so many birthdays you can sacrifice before they turn 18.
Yeah.
So kudos to you guys for figuring it out early on and being able to team up, because, like I said, it's not necessarily always about money. It's about freedom,
Yeah.
right? The freedom to do what you want.
And to know what you want. Because, people say that they throw that out there, but you need money to do the things that you want to do too.
right.
So,
Absolutely.
but it comes to a point where you got to look at how much money do you need to make? How much money do you want to make? And then what's really important in life. And as brokers, for us, it's like, yeah, we want to run this big brokerage, but you truly get a sense of fulfillment when someone says, hey, my dream, or this is what I want to do, and you see them achieve that, and you had a little piece of that. It really, it's kind of the reason why I was a teacher too, way back when. It's like when you get a kid at the end of the year and says, wow, I never thought, no one ever told me anything good about myself, and you did, and it's like, wow, you don't know where people come from, and just the little thing could change their life forever.
Yeah. What does success look like for United Real Estate Gallery and you guys, I would say personally and professionally, in 3 to 5 years?
I would see United Real Estate Gallery with our footprint as far south as Daytona. I would see it going out west towards Ocala, Gainesville, Lake City, probably Tallahassee. And then I'd see us heading north into the Savannah, Georgia area.
That'd be
And
awesome.
Kind of just being a regional player. That's what that would look like. What would success look like for me personally in the next 3 to 5 years? I think just being able to spend more time with my family. You sacrifice all these years, all these vacations over time that you want to make up for lost time, and that's really what I'd like to do.
Yeah, pretty much with the the United goals. Yeah, we want to be a regional player. United wants us to be a regional player. Sonny calls it the what is it? The spoke and
Hub and spoke.
Hub and spoke, right? So you have like the hub here in Jacksonville. It's a bigger city. Then the spokes go up north to Savannah, South Georgia, south to Daytona, and then west out to Ocala, maybe even Tallahassee, Gainesville.
Ray's getting licensed in Georgia right now.
Yes.
Oh, that's
I'm in the
awesome.
process of doing that because we have agents that actually live now in St. Mary's, and an agent texted me yesterday, "How's it going on the real estate broker exam?" I'm like, "Oh yeah, I'm almost there."
I'm studying. Meanwhile, he's on this podcast.
So hopefully we'll have that by next month on the Georgia. That's exciting. And then personally, the same thing with Sonny. You get to a point where we're growing the brokerage. We want to bring up other leaders that could kind of do what Sonny and I do, and Sonny and I oversee them. I mean, we're not going off into the sunset. That was one of the things funny, right? When they said we were going to United, like, oh, you guys are retiring and no one's ever going to see you. And brokers
That's what everybody said. Yeah.
Brokers were recruiting against our agents by saying that. We're like, oh, you need to go. They're leaving. We're not leaving. I mean, we're not, like you said earlier, we're not old.
Yeah.
So we're not ready to go off into the sunset, but we want to be able to like teach some of our broker support managers to take over some of those responsibilities from us. So if Sonny wants to go away for a couple of weeks with his family, he can, and everything is virtual now, right? You can make a phone call, you can do Zoom. So I think we would be able to do that more and more as we, get our people in teaching them the stuff that, they need to do to take over some of the responsibilities that we have.
So this means I get to hang my Georgia license with my hub brokerage.
Yes.
I was like,
Can you
I
go
felt
over
like
to-
you had a Georgia license.
Yeah, can you go over to Alabama next?
We have an agent that has his license there.
It's been encouraged.
Well, I love hearing about this. It's super motivating.
Yeah.
Whether you guys realize it or not, it's just hearing the growth that you guys want to take is motivating to me.
Yeah,
as an
100%.
agent.
And like that you guys have gone through a down market and like still came out stronger than before. I mean, I know, that it's kind of a down market right now. Like,
It is. I mean, last month the numbers were awful across the board.
Nobody talks about that online.
nobody
No, they don't.
They're like,
Agents.
oh, we're great. Like, and so, I know Megan and I, she will be scrolling on social media and she will doom scroll social media and she will call me and she's like, this is really fucking with me. And I'm like, it's fake, Megan. It's fake. It's all fake. I'm like, you cannot sit here and tell me, like, I'm sure some of it is real. Absolutely. But you cannot sit here and tell me that you are like, absolutely just every single person that you see is crushing it. And it's like, when you look at the numbers, it is all bullshit.
Yeah.
There's no other way to put it. Like, there's just
Yeah, the numbers are the numbers. The numbers are down for sure. And I'll give you this little I had an agent come from another brokerage, and this shows you that the numbers are down. They are resetting people where they're going to take more. They have a cap system. So there is a cap, but they were starting them out at a higher amount because people were doing good the last few years or the year before last. And then last year was tougher and the year started out tough this year. So they dropped everybody down on their cap because they want to get the money up front.
Yeah.
Rather than if they know you're going to do 20 deals, I'll pay you more per deal because I'm going to get the same amount of money come the end of the year. But when the numbers are down, they're like, shoot, if I pay them that money, I'm not going to make. Sonny knows what I'm talking about. So they're starting them at a lower commission split so they can get that money quicker for them to get closer to their cap. So the agent's like, well, wait a second. Why am I going down in my commission? Because the market's down. I got to pay more of my commission. And so that's helping us. Well, like, wherever you stop, that's where you always are. You never go down.
yeah.
Yep.
What keeps you motivated when the market gets tough?
Just going through it before, you got to keep your eyes always on what your goals are. And so motivation for me when the market's tough is like there's always a light at the end of the tunnel. And if you focus on the negative things, you're going to have negative outcomes. And so if you focus on the positives, even in any negative thing, there's always something positive to look at. And one of the things that I always tell agents when they'll vent or they'll call me and they'll be upset. I'm like, okay, let's get upset together. Let's be annoyed. Okay, now let's stop. And I think I got this from Tony Robbins. So I didn't invent this. And it's like, okay, what's the desired outcome we want to achieve at this point?
Yeah.
Oh, I want this to happen. Okay, now let's just focus on that.
Right.
We got the negative out. We're upset. Now all that energy is wasted. Okay, we're done. Now let's focus on how do we get to your desired outcome that you want. And if you focus on that, you'll get through the other side.
I truly think that and planning.
Yeah.
Because if you're constantly planning and you're not staying stagnant and you're looking to evolve, you're a moving target. You move with the market.
Right. Right, exactly. Because if you the market stinks, everything is bad, there's no
and then
deals.
you do nothing about it.
Then you do nothing about it because
Yeah.
you're focusing on what? The things that aren't happening
Right.
rather than, hey, the market's crappy.
What are we going to do? What can we control?
Yes.
Like I know when COVID happened, when we talked about reducing expenses, we went to all of our advertisers and we basically told them, hey, COVID's happening. We need to reduce our expenses. We need a break. And we got people to budge on our contract rates because they knew that everybody was in distress. And it helped make us feel better because we knew when COVID first happened, we had already taken our expenses down like 25%. So whatever COVID was going to throw our way,
Yeah.
we were prepared.
Mm-hmm. So what has been your proudest moment as a leader?
I think the proudest moment for me, well, I'll say a couple of things. When we started the brokerage, I was like, how the hell are we going to make this work when the market was crapping the bed? You get these things where this isn't going to work.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we're going to fail. And
Did you think that?
yeah, well, there
Okay.
were times where
I might have too. It's the first time we said that.
You said it out loud. Safe
Oh, yeah.
space.
Safe space.
no, for sure.
No one's
And-
gonna hear this.
And if you
I
talk
was
to
like, this motherfucker.
what did he get me into? No, I mean, if you talk to most people that have been successful leaders, you always have that. I mean, everybody has that in their own lives, right? It's like, but it was serious. Like, and it's not just you. It's like you have employees, you have agents. You're like, I can't fail, not just for me, I can't fail for them.
Yeah.
Right. And so I think being the proudest moment for me is like not letting the doubts and the early failures set us back. And so like, we're going to get through this, whether it's doing the merger with our old business partner, whether it's selling and partnering with United. There's always a way out of whatever difficulties you're in. There's always a way out in your personal life, in your business life. There's always a way out, no matter how bad it looks. If you work hard, the little things, you heard that saying, the little things, add up to the big things.
They do.
But it's like not letting, the doubt just take over and know there's always a way out of whatever you're in. I think that's my proudest moment, not letting the starting out in a recession, then COVID, we were always able to do the right thing and get through it.
I think we stayed present. We were always grounded.
Yeah.
We never, no matter how bad the circumstances were in those moments, we were just always grounded, and we didn't make ourselves anxious by thinking too much about the future and its uncertainty. And we certainly didn't think about the past of our regrets about spending the money and, oh my God, what did we do? Can we get a refund? It was just, again, what do we need to do to make this work? And I would say my proudest moment was probably when we had our 10-year reunion, or our 10-year
Anniversary.
celebrated our 10-year anniversrsary, and I had the big old 10 and balloons. But just because if you would have asked me 10 years prior, would we have been there? No way.
Yeah.
No way. That vision wasn't even possible. It was only a dream. But that just shows you where you can take dreams and you can make them realities if you truly just focus on all the small little steps that are involved there.
Yeah. And Sonny and I, one of the things that I think we both do a good job of is we're humble to the fact we will always ask people. There's always somebody that knows something that you do that does things better than you. We always asked, other brokers, other people out there, what do you do in this situation? How do you, and where it's a lot of people, a lot of leaders sometimes get caught in like, well, I know best and, I'm smart.
Yeah, there's not a lot of like ego with you guys. I
Yes.
would say you guys
Yeah.
are always very down to earth. You're always talking to your agents. It doesn't seem like there's big spikes in everything. Steady as you go. Always thinking also about the future, though, how we're evolving.
Very humble.
And I would
Very,
say
very humble.
something that sticks out is, in this industry, there are agents that are going to come and go, burn bridges with you guys and with the brokerage. And you guys always have such at least it seems from the outside coming in, I would say it seems like you guys are just always steady emotionally with them too. They could do terrible things to you guys and screw people over and do this and that. And you're like, whenever you're ready to come back, Like, you are the dads. Whenever you're ready to come back, we'll be here. But you go throw your fit right now. And
What did I say? You can't throw stones at every dog that barks.
yeah.
Because we would be throwing stones a lot if that was the case. You know, it just takes too much energy to be hateful towards people. It's just easier, you know. People part ways. Sometimes you're a stepping stone in their story. Sometimes, you know, we're the stepping stone in theirs. It just, you know, it's just a story.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's awesome. Well, thank you guys so much for coming on. This was awesome.
Thank you.
And
Feel free
super
for having us.
motivating. I hope
Yeah.
it motivates others, and I hope people can see how awesome our brokerage is. So,
Yeah.
Thank you, ladies.
Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Bye, guys.